Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today I take flights in the Airbus, and also Microsoft Flight Sim. We're in X-Plane today, XP11, taking flights in the Boeing 737-800 in Ryanair colours on a flight from here in London Stansted to Baden-Baden. Already completely messed up the intro today, but hey ho, we're here. So yeah, so XP11 today, not Microsoft Flight Sim, flying the Boeing 737, not the A320neo. Should be a grand old flight this evening. Got a nice sunset as well ahead of us tonight, so fingers crossed that will also look pretty grand. And yeah, just hopefully should be a pretty good flight overall. So very shortly we'll jump into the cockpit to the aircraft up, press us for departure, and hoping in a couple of minutes we'll lose ourselves in a position ready to get ourselves going. So, let's get this thing moving, shall we? First things first, we're going to turn on the electrics. Close the switch over here. Emergency solar lights set. Going to turn on the 737 format then. So right, probe heats on, set the hydraulics to on, position lights to steady, no strobe just yet. Going to set the anti-collision lights to on, logo lights to on, and that should be the FF panel most complete. Make sure all the bleeds are switched off, all off the PACX, automatic reciprocating fans. RS switches, bring those both to nav. Then switch the overhead display over to the timer, which will count down the RS timer to alignments. Bring the ground power to on. There we go, now bring all systems to life. Very slowly. There we go. Yes, Miriam, I have got Discord. Link is in the description for Discord. Welcome, Nilanjana. Welcome, Palit. How are you both doing today? Welcome channel, welcome to chat. Right, that's our position. So we're currently Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. Our stand right now is 6-4 left. Take the aircraft's coordinates to get into the ice position. Make sure everything else is okay, which it should be. IRS take a total of 8 minutes to line, so let that do in the background. Let's back to the FMS, head over to the route and plug in our routing today. So departing from Stansted, arriving at Baden-Baden, which is Echo Delta Sierra Bravo. Games movies fun. It's been a while, man. How are you doing? Has been a while, dude. Hope you're keeping well yourself. I don't have the Phoenix Beta new bricks. Not an aircraft I have access to, I'm afraid. Palit, Dzień dobry, jak się masz? Plan up today. We are currently going to fly as FR9772. And our departure runway, we'll set that in a moment, but on paper it should be runway 22 for departure. So I'm taking runway 22 departure, Claxon 1 Echo departure. As soon as we contact the controller, we'll get our cleared out from their side. Let's start boarding, shall we? So we are flying from Stansted to Baden-Baden, or well, Colorus, the airport I believe is it Colorus? Yeah, Karlsruhe, sorry, Karlsruhe, also known as Baden-Baden. Famous spa town in south of Germany. We'll go through the detail on that when we're in the flights. FR9772, 23,000 feet initial cruise. We do fly to flight level, tell a lie, 230 actually is just our top of cruise according to flight plan. Very, very low today. Very low. Yes, I am making use of advanced skyscapes. Now, I bought a little while ago, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So it's one of the best weather effects in flights at the moment. 5 minutes departure. Sorry, 1 hour 5 minutes flight time. Departure in approximately 28 minutes. Got plenty of time to get set up going. But on the 737-800 with a passenger count of 184, so pretty much a full house today. With very few empty seats on the aircraft. No Wi-Fi, no entertainment. We have got Ryanair body music. We have got Ryanair safety briefing. Airline, not Ryanair, not Scandinavian. Do get snack service, don't get meal service, and with that, let's get boarding. So that allows passengers now to slowly board the aircraft. Plenty of time. What do you mean didn't look like it? So it looks like it from my end. Again, you're trying to find some critique. Sorry to hear that, Palit. Hopefully you aren't too badly affected by it. So I had COVID myself quite early on in the pandemic. Not a great feeling. Definitely better for a couple of days, but fortunately got out of it quite quickly. Right, Claxon departure. First air will be Lima 608. From there we fly to Saski. Lima 179. Nick. Mike 624 to Dick, Mike 150 to Ladat, and that is the end of our flight plan. So a very short flight today ahead of us. Execute that. Let's put this in the Kaiser Malacca departure runway 22, and let's set in the Ladat 1 Lima arrival from runway 21. Again, once we get ATC on the phone, we'll be able to get that all confirmed from tower point of view as well. Screen of passengers, and then let's go for our first contact. Good evening, gentlemen. Web orders for Ryanair flights 9772 from London Stansted to Karlsruhe, Baden-Baden. Flight time today, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Just in the final stage of training aircraft, and should hopefully be airborne within the next 25 minutes. We thank you for choosing Ryanair's carrier today. We hope you enjoy flight with us on board. Any questions, feel free to GamingPro. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy flight. We have a slightly cloudy departure and potentially a few storms out in Baden-Baden as well on arrival, so I'll keep you an update on the weather as we get close. But for now, sit back, relax, enjoy your flights, and give you an update once we are airborne. Thank you, and welcome on board. So now the message is to finish recording. Set up some panel lighting in our 737. Hopefully I remember where all the switches are. So yeah, on the captain's side, they're behind here. Co-pilot side has panel brightness. That covers the main autopilot panel. And overhead panel, the brightness should be on the centre. Perfect. So as soon as the sun sets on us today, we'll be able to get ourselves some lighting within the fronts. Yeah, new live stream today, Marco. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to chats. So, project question for the cabin. Now passengers to listen to that. You've got Ryanair just there pushing back. That's going to be flights heading to Dublin very shortly. That over there, another flight heading to Dublin. Right, let's tune to, well, in fact, before we tune to frequency, let's listen to the ATIS for Stansted.
Winds 260 at 7 knots. Clear. Visibility 10 kilometers. Altimeter 1015. Dew point -1 degree Celsius. Winds 260 at 7.
Cool, now it's information delta. So yeah, not too bad at the moment. Winds are 267 knots, which means 22 should be our runway for departure. Plus the visibility, no clouds reported. 5 degrees centigrade, 0.1, connection 1015. So yeah, we're looking pretty good for that at the moment. Nothing too much for us to worry about. Let's grab the charts for our rough departure now. So open charts list. Let's grab the parking stands, and this will include taxiways up to 22, so we'll save that. Star chart, sorry, SID charts, Klaxon 1, what did I say? Is it 1 Echo? Yes, Klaxon 1 Echo. So that's our departure there. Initial climb will be 6,000 feet, so I'll set the altitude to 6, sorry. Yeah, Clacton, I'm not going crazy. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. Go for our performance very shortly. Let's tune frequency and let's say hello to Tower. So we need to contact Tower on 123.805. So type 738, stand 64 left, information Delta is active. Good evening, Stansted Tower. This is Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey at stand 64 left with information Delta requesting IFR, requesting clearance to Baden-Baden.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, good evening, London Stansted. You're clear to your destination, Clapton 8 Romeo departure, runway 22, squawk 2556.
Class 8 Roman departure, we'll keep that in mind. Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey is cleared to destination Baden-Baden on the Claxon 8 runway departure runway 22, squawking 2556.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, correct.
2556.
Hotel, requesting taxi instructions to runway 22. Ryanair 812 Hotel,
So about our
Romeo 1 by
departure, runway 22 set. Claxon 8 runway departure, so not quite the one echo as I expected, but it's pretty much the same routing. Go to the chart. So basically, instead of doing this, let's grab the Claxon 8 runway departure, it's pretty much the same routing. The only difference is, I don't need any difference. It's all the exact same. Yeah, just plus 6,000 feet, that's all fine. So yeah, we'll just unpin that for the sake of getting rid of the we don't need. It's a very, very similar departure list.
7 finals 22. 7, the wind 260 degrees 7 knots, clear touch and go runway.
Right, so our routing is set. Now over to our performance.
22 clear touch and go, Badger 27.
And so our performance destination for flight. So our zero fuel weight today is going to be, I should put from the aircraft. Reserves on board today is going to be, reminds me, I haven't filled the aircraft up yet. So we do that now while we're on the ground, preferably. So we're going to go back, go to ground services, not ground services, but the fuel page. Payload. Fuel on board is going to be 6349. And our payload today is going to be 19.2. And so that's right, so quickly just call the fuel truck. That should set the payload up for us. £92 set, that's fine. Yeah, so in terms of what I'm looking at, our payload is here. Sorry, payload here, 90.2, cargo is 4.6, 2 seconds. Our fuel load is here. We'll confirm our cargo set. That'll balance out to here. It's passengers plus cargo, that balances out on its own, that's fine. So if the aircraft fuel up, since we did that early enough, which isn't too much of a problem, passengers are still boarding, mostly complete now. So we'll have to wait a few moments until we switch on the fuel pumps and APU. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much in place. So quite low cruising altitude, only level 230 today, so set the altitude pressure to 23,000. Back to the performance, reserves to 0. Cost index is going to be 10. And cruising altitude of 230. Cruising winds currently averaging at 285,062. 285.62 knots. Execute that. Insufficient fuel, that's fine. The aircraft is still fueling. I hope it take us too long to get fuel into the aircrafts. Most of the way there actually, so keep an eye on that. In the tanks. Carbon siding, just go to the legs page, that's fine. As soon as the fuel's on, we'll takeoff speeds, and then presumably won't be too far away from push and start. This is the Zyber mod. So this is Zyber to there. Well, it's the Zyber mod cockpit LM, but this is the LevelUp 737. This is freeware aircraft. It's free to download off of the LevelUp, the Threshold forums, and not a bad looking aircraft. This. Right, so we fueled up, and we have passengers on board. Perfect. So we're going to reset our zero fuel weight to gravity sets. Fuel pumps left active. APU starts.
Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode.
1, 2, hotel, the wind 260 degrees 7 knots, clear to take off on my
fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables...
That's 10 takeoff. 10 to gravity will pull. 90.2 sets. V1121, rotate 122, V2135. So again, quite light aircrafts for the most part with fuel. 122, rotate to that 122 on the altitude indicator here. Remember, there's a black button here, which allows me to spool up the engines without any need for the throttle input, which was appreciated. This is in pounds, not kilos. I'm sure you can. Hang on, I'm just gonna find that with the old aircraft sets. I wish you could say. I wish it saved it kind of automatically. Go back to the ground services, back to the aeroplane. Yeah, so that's what's happened. So I tried. Well, Potentially, some point we'll get it to save it properly. Resets the values. Good spot there, AvGeek. Payload is 19.2. We have to redo our calculations for weight again very shortly. Well then, call it fuel truck. Give it a few more minutes. All mods inscription, and Lisa, all mods inscription.
27 Roger, you're currently number 2, nearly number 1 to the
See what it should do is if you quick save the configuration, it should
number 2
just.
becoming number 1, report final 22 Bravo 27.
Oh, I'll go to configuration 1. What's configuration 1? I see nothing different at the very least.
Ryanair 812 heavy, squawk mode Charlie.
Probably squawk mode Charlie, sorry about that. Ryanair.
Yeah, it should save automatically, but it just doesn't sometimes work. There's still version 1 this, it's certainly getting a lot of work to it. Just need to
Roger, FX 120.625, take a wish for your service, brother.
Right, so let the aircraft redo itself in terms of its weight. I need to reset the altitude very shortly. Aircraft fueling up. We're running APU power. Wait for the aircraft fuel thing first.
Now, so you can left into base. I've got a traffic Boeing 738 with the foot of the island.
On the base now, Bravo 27.
While we're here, might as well get the pushback configured as well. So ground services, better pushback, or pre-plan it.
Round to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
And so as soon as we're ready to push back, ground crews take over from there. We're boarded, so we can actually go to the ground crews now as well. So ground handling, get them all to drive away. Ground services, retract the air stairs, and prepare ourselves to close the door. So full cargo door can close, rear entry can close. And as soon as the air stairs gone, we can close the main cabin door. Have been on Q400 in real life? I've not been in Q400 in real life, Abby. No, not an aircraft. Actually, I don't know. If I have been on the Q400, it's been about 15 years since I last flew one. And that would have been of Eurolots between Warsaw and Rzeszów back in like 2002. So, possibly. I don't know what the fleet was back then, but the answer is possibly. I just don't remember. Favourite plane type? Probably 737 or 747. Alicia, 737 or 747. Thank you. Glad you your favourites. Thank you very much. Always appreciate the kind words. So how are we doing now for the fuel load? Hopefully it won't take us too long to reset what we were doing a few minutes ago. Again, good spot there with the pounds. Fingers crossed, that should now just save it. Set the first configuration slots. Fuel payload, I'm doing that one. It's payload. Almost there, just another ton of fuel to get going first. Welcome 5, how are you doing? My day's not been too bad today. Went to work this morning, and that's pretty much it. So went to work this morning, came home, did a bit of work for other things, and then started my stream tonight. Just like the Concorde. Not sure, never flown it. I wish I could have flown it, but sadly, a bit too young to remember that. But I'll certainly have a look at DC Designs aircraft when it comes out. Looking pretty good indeed. Hopefully they get some sort of navigation going around the INS and actual reference system. But if they've gone for the FMS, then at this point it will just have to do, I guess. Potentially until we get some more advanced systems in the old Microsoft Flight Sim. Right. Almost there.
260 degrees 7 knots. Shortly becoming 1, continue approach on 822.
Right, that should be done now. Perfect. Aircraft fueled. So reset the weights again one more time.
And to the wind 260 degrees 7 knots.
Remember our takeoff speeds. Flat 10 stays the same. Updates to center gravity. BCBs now. One.
122 traffic information.
Yeah, fair enough. They stop updating now. So 138.
Entering downwind now for runway 22 reporting by.
138. That's fine. I'll just do it that way. So 138, 139,
Mayday,
and
mayday, mayday. Badger 27 spoke in the cockpit.
That's the
27 Mayday received time 018.
it's the fun bit of the training, the Mayday bit. Hold on, craft on the ground for a bit.
2 Heathrow, go around,
Right.
again, go around the knowledge.
Take off reference set.
Going around.
That's all set. Bring the aircraft onto APU power. Disconnect to ground power. APU bleed sets.
Badger 27, we
Ground
got all the runways.
services.
We were returning to
GP
land.
disconnect and remove the chocks. We're still on parking brakes, so we're still fine for that. Which means I need to also double check the hardware setup. My nodal axis. That's more like it. Back to general config. Nope.
27 squadron, make sure of your emergency.
Save.
Spoke in the cockpit.
Manage. Save config 1. See, something changed in the background. When I loaded up the aircraft, the sounds changed slightly. So I feel like there's another config that hasn't changed properly, but if we spot it, we'll spot it when we get there. Alright, initial climb 6000, max speed 139. Yes, Zillion. So basically, when you fly on, same with VATSIM as well, but essentially part of your training on IVAO VATSIM's controller, you need to basically manage a Mayday as such. So what's happened there is the guy who's hosting the training session is like, hey, can you just call in a Mayday to put some pressure on? Is that the whole point of it? It puts pressure onto the controller to then manage a slightly more stronger situation. So it's something that all sessions do, and yeah, it's just another extra. So yeah, someone requested a Mayday, but that's just a case of because it's part of the trainings set up for the odd network. You'd up the sets.
And back to 27, all runways are now clear. The wind 260 degrees,
Beacon
7 knots,
lights. Sorry, that's the
The runways
exclusion
cross land.
lights.
Badger 27.
So in quest position starts, they may hold us at the stand for a few minutes while they focus on the Mayday. Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey stand 64 left is ready for mission starts.
Stand by.
Yeah, they're told to stand by, so I'm going to hold position for a couple minutes while I wait for this approach to sort themselves out. Hope not too far away. So the Ryanair over that's just pushed back.
And all station, Mayday in progress, expect delays of up to 2 minutes.
Oh, it's 2 minutes, okay, I can live with that. I can slightly live with 2 minutes. Thank you, Greasy. Thank you for the kind words. Glad you enjoyed the watch. Am I part of real life? I'm not. Alicia, I'm afraid I'm not. Do I like skiing? I've done indoor skiing. I've never been actual proper skiing before. Something on my my bucket list. Is it just me every time that you join my stream, you mess up some sort, you take off landing? Usually landing, well, I say usually landing, I remember you at A330 takeoff. I'm not quite sure what you did there, going to the taxiway and the grass. That was an experience. Go out in time then, we're off to Dublin, rainy Dublin. How are you today? I'm not too bad, Future. I'm not too bad, and yes, you did just about make the escape. Well, I believe that's Charlie over there. He's been a bit... Well, he's been caught behind in this, but you've just made your way out. We've got 8 minutes to expect so much. Not behind schedule by any means. Just got to wait for the ground crews to... Or wait for Tower to carry out the landing.
Ryanair 903 Bravo Whiskey, confirm large transmission.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, stand 64 left, is ready for push and start.
Ryanair 903 Bravo Whiskey, push and start approved. QNH 1015.
Push start approved, QNH1015 for Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Ah, there you are, Charlie. How are you today? Hope you're keeping well, dude. Hope you're not going to be delayed too long by the the whole Mayday. No sense of fuel to leave the fuel tank off. Ground services, better pushback and
Ground
request.
cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Right, let's get out of here, shall we? Faking engines packed in. I suppose one way to do it, I guess. Yeah, Dublin's only a short flight anyway. It's about, what, 45 minutes from Stansted? I'm not going to be pushed back too much by it. And I believe, do you have your own training session as well in Edinburgh about an hour and a half ago as well?
Badger 27 stopping on the runway.
Right, so pushback target's coming to position.
7 Roger.
doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Because trainer felt sharp. Gosh, okay, that's one way to do it. One of the considerations I had for today's flight was like an Edinburgh to Stansted, but then I realised you disconnected at some point, and so I thought I'd missed it, but fair enough. Hopefully we won't get too long to be rescheduled. I am looking at Postcon, what a shame. Certainly Network I've followed in its initial release at Flight Sim Show 2019 to where it kind of released about 2 weeks ago. I'm looking into it. I'm definitely looking into it. It's a case of seeing kind of where they go with it. It's not bad, the entry requirements, in that you do a kind of a quiz to then join and all this. Mainly the level, it depends. I need to look at how many controls there are, find some busy times to fly in, and then yes, we'll definitely give it a go at some point possible, because the web UI looks pretty good actually, can't deny that. Right, parking brake release, let's push out a stand.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Yeah, 139 IS, that's our rotate speed, 139. We've given the engine start clearance, so make sure the engine starters on both.
Mayday Badger 27, we'd like to cancel the Mayday. The reason for the Mayday is our heater caught fire.
Cool, engine 2 starts.
Roger, Badger 27, report intention.
Have I felt scared on the flight?
We'd like to depart from our present position.
Yes, actually, yes. I'll give you the stories of that once I'm in the air. Remind me when we were airborne, Alicia, and I'll give you some stories about being scared on flights. Yes, I have had a few moments. Engine 2 starts. PACX, passengers phrase up, PACX. Yeah, because I'm looking at, because I know EasyJet flight Edinburgh to Stansted, because I've been on that flight in real life, Edinburgh to Stansted with EasyJet. That was my, I don't feel my last flight last year. It was one of my very few flights last year, kind of towards the end of it, so my third last. Did a day trip up to Edinburgh, so certainly looked at doing that flight again, but I just kind of went walk. Well, your trainer actually went walkies on that occasion. Next Tuesday. I'm working a morning shift Tuesday, Charlie, so potentially Tuesday I actually am free. Engine 2 is active, engine 1 starts. Watch the N2 to hit 18. 14, 15, 16, 17. Engine 1, fuel flow starts. Flying BNXS today, very nice reps. Do enjoy it.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake sets.
Disconnecting tow, stand by. Right, engine starts which is resets. Wait for the engine to stabilise. Then turn on the turn on the engine generators. Switch the bleeds to engine leads. APU off. PACX to auto. I'm going from Mallorca. Going to Mallorca from Manchester to in summer. Very nice live. Do enjoy it. Mallorca wasn't my. Actually, Mallorca I had a ticket to for Ryanair, but then that got cancelled because of COVID. But yes, I was actually scheduled to go to Mallorca back in 2020. Right, so do a pre-flight control check, and then we'll press our tax intentions. So switch over to systems. Air co-pilot today, we're doing it all ourselves. So elevator is active. Ailerons active. Rudder all the way left. Rudder all the way right. Spoilers up. Spoilers down. Flight control is active. Cool. JD overhead, make sure nothing is set there incorrectly. Everything looks good. Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey is ready to taxi runway 22.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, taxi to Holding Point Romeo 1 by Delta and Hotel.
Taxi Holding Point Romeo 1 via Delta and Hotel, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey.
Ryanair 5 Juliet Bravo, following the company traffic, Boeing 738. Taxi to Holding Point Romeo 3, correction, by Delta
released. Taxi lights set. Increase throttle, and let's get it going. Lead flaps to 10 degrees.
Badger 27 downwind, touch and go.
Badger 27, roger, you're on number 1. Report final, runway 22.
Number 1, port final 22, Badger 27.
Ah, forgot about you. I know the ground handling, sorry, better pushback, just doesn't seem to quite respond to this aircraft, at least not in the normal way.
Badger 27 request.
Badger 27, go ahead.
Badger 27 after this touch and go, we'd like to leave the control zone to the south.
Badger 27, roger.
Now to continue straight onto Delta, cross hotel, holding Romeo 1, which will be the left hand entry point to the runway 22. Have been to Lublin, I have been to Lublin, yes. Flew there from Stansted back in 2016, so back when the airport was pretty much brand new. Having to choose a touch runway as well. Yes, I'm definitely thinking it's an issue with the... I should know, better pushback. When was the last time I had an update? It's probably been a little while as well, but I'm certainly swaying more towards the side of potentially the LevelUp aircraft not being fully compatible with it, rather than better pushback having a problem on its own. But like I say, I'm not an expert at better pushback, so I couldn't say for certain what the issue could be. Sorry for the most part, it's just disconnecting that it seems to be a bit sticky with. How are you, Gary? As well. Welcome to channel with chats. Welcome, and then how are you doing? Welcome to channel chats. How are you this evening? Going to make a right onto the Romeo holding track. And holding points Romeo 1, just in front of the runway.
Badger 27 final 22.
Badger 27, the wind's 260 degrees, 7 knots, clear to touch and go, runway 22.
22, clear touch and go, Badger 27.
Right, so this will be behind a touch and go for our departure. In fact, I expect departure, it's just in at 0, so it has taken us
Badger 27 after the touch and go,
half
we
an
have
hour
our
to
clearance.
get
Would you want
going.
us to continue in the circuit?
Anytime, I'll give you your clearance after the touch and go.
Right, so hold position.
Roger, clearance after the touch and go, Badger 27.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, holding Romeo 1.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, hop position.
Holding position, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Right, to hold position, just waiting for that aircraft there. Do a touch and go, it's going to be a
Ryanair 93
light
Bravo
aircraft
Whiskey
of
behind
sorts.
the touch and going Piper 28. Line up and wait behind runway 22.
Behind touch and go Piper, line up and wait, runway 22, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure. Alright, so that'll be a public address to the cabin. London lights sets. Turn on the transponder. And turn to the runway, shall we? Jet takeoff brake sets. Okay, just misstilled it on the runway. It wasn't hyped by the Concorde or 10% back in ZG, they kind of can't wait for them. They're going to be grand aircraft, Hendrix. They got more, since he got higher to the PMDG, the Concorde's looking pretty good. Like I say, it comes down to systems fidelity. But both aircraft I am excited for, so we'll see how they go for arrival.
Routing Cranfield at VFR, not above altitude 2000 feet, squawk 0210.
Looking to leave to the south, Badger 27.
Yeah, right.
Right, holding position, runway 22.
Badger 27. Your clearance still is valid to the Crownfield VS bar, VOR. After Crownfield, you can clear the south, your clearance still remains the same.
Roger, could leave the Stansted control zone by Camfield not above 2000, squawk 0210, Badger 27.
7 correct.
Ryanair 5 Juliet Bravo holding revenue 3.
Ryanair 5 Juliet Bravo, hold.
Holding position 5 Juliet Bravo.
Alright, so as soon as the pipe is clear, we should be good to go.
Badger 27, contact FX10.65.
Got to remember that because it is only a pipe per car in front of us, it is quite slow for its movements, therefore needs to be completely clear of our airspace before we're given any permissions to go anywhere, so
Ryanair,
there we go.
Bravo Whiskey, the wind's 260 degrees, 7 knots, cleared immediate takeoff on my 22.
Cleared immediate takeoff, runway 22, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, thank you. Right, so the engines up, 40%. 1-2 stable. Takeoff throttle, set 10-1.
knots.
80 knots. V1 rotates.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
That's 1. That's up. Reset landing gear. And bring the aircraft over to autopilot. V11 now sets. Autopilot sets.
Ryanair Bravo Whiskey, contact approach, correction, contact Essex radar, 120.65.
Contact Essex radar on 120.65 Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Thank you very much. Right, contacts Essex. It's 120.625.
December the glide path, India November Tango.
Good evening, Essex radar. This is Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey on the Claxon 8 runway departure, passing through 3000.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, Essex radar, good evening to you, sir. Climb now, flight level 80.
Climb level 80 for Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Right, let's go to 8,000 feet. Luton in the background as well.
India November Tango, it's here to miss the low tide, we might have hit it a bit too late. Any stops all right turn? India November Tango, Roger, apology for that. You can turn right, heading to...
Yeah, we spotted the speed there a little bit, Marwan. Got to about 270 knots, so we did cut speed back as soon as we got to that. Do you think the Phoenix will probably be... I'm not sure about the release order between Phoenix and PMDG, because both aircraft are in quite advanced stages of release. Both of them could come out pretty much on a heartbeat, so... I don't know which one will come first. Both of them are at pretty similar stages of development. They could be either or at this point, either or. So since the SID is going to leave our
or limit our altitude to 4,000. What I will do is I'll just manually climb to 8,000 and then continue on from there. From Logan, we'll be given free rein to
Tango, is the altitude okay for you up at
climb to required altitude.
Indian November Tango, yeah, looks like we're a bit high, so if we could just switch to visual approach if able, we do have to fill this spot.
Indian November Tango, roger, you are cleared visual approach runway 22.
Visual approach 22, Indian November Tango, thank you.
So far so good. Rachel passing through 6,000, shot transition altitude set to standard. We'll continue climbing to 8,000 feet. Quite a fun little sunset.
Right, 93 Bravo Whiskey, frequency change approved, Unicom 122-8.
Unicom 122 for Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Thank you very much, take care, good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Sergeant 27, continue the hold at Canfield.
Right, off to Unicom, where we shall be for probably most of cruise, potentially 18 Germany. Have a quick look. We are now out of the control space. Look at Germany. There is Lungen radar online. Lungen radar do control Baden, so potentially we'll have approach. In fact, they've only been live for 7 minutes, so there's a good chance we will get ATC on the approach into Baden-Baden. So yeah, Baden-Baden, city down in the south of Germany. It's a spa city. We reset the altitude to cruising altitude since we're passing. Actually, seems to have cleared all the way through to well, on Unicom now, so clear to continue to wherever we need to go. 20,000 will be our altitude sets. Yeah, so Baden-Baden, city in the south of Germany. It's a spa city, so used by the Romans because of its natural hot water springs in the ground. And quite a famous city for London civilians as well, so it's quite a hilly, straight mountainous terrain. Certainly quite a beautiful little place to come to photos, and somewhere that I do want to travel to at some point in the future, right on the border of France as well, so quite a fascinating little place. It's on my list of places to visit one day, so I'd like to make a trip here at some point. Yeah, but I don't use Vatsin, I still use IVAO, so hey ho. The Phoenix 320 will be a payware aircraft, Victor. Phoenix 320 will be payware. Flying 736 from Algiers to Dubai, very nice. 736 Algiers to Dubai, interesting choice of aircraft there. Very short, we pass through 10,000 feet. Approach back over to. Let's see what's going to happen is the aircraft's going to limit its altitude to 6,000 until it gets to Logan. So I'll leave it on manual speed control. A little while. Speed up to 20 knots for now. And lights off. Let's continue our climb. Cool, good for you, Hatu. So it's quite a beautiful sunset this evening, and again the enhanced PACX add-on really does just adds to the whole lighting sky environment of lights as well. It's worth a purchase, the enhanced skyscape. It's definitely worth the purchase. Not super expensive, but it just adds a whole flavour to the sim. Also, glare. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad for us. Right, as soon as we get Charlie in the vent point, a little bit of turbulence so the aircraft's hits. We'll mid around turn, direct slogan, which will then switch on to the VNAV. We will also turn off the seatbelt sign, give passengers freedom back around the cabin. Speaking of which, did I ever turn it on? The answer is no, I didn't. Whoops a daisy. Aviation zone, currently midway on a flight from Manchester to New York in the 321. Gosh, quite a flight that, dude. How's it coming along? You in the
this through 21 or in a different flights in 21. Yeah, not live time, Hasu, this isn't live time. But we'd bring it back to a little bit, just enjoy a bit of sunset. So in the sim it's about 3:43 local time, so I brought us back by 5 hours. Had your flying Speedbird 4 Romeo Echo to Gibraltar, very nice, enjoyed the approach there, Lewis. The weather actually not too bad at the moment, has been a lot windier in the past, so you should be able to do that without too many problems. Alright, leading back to the aircraft control, aircraft's now in full charge. It's got a few offshore wind farms in the background. And yeah, definitely a bit of turbulence. We can hear the trim adjusting for it. Also the yokes making movements to adjust the winds as well. Some light gusts on this flight this evening, some light gusts. Yeah, so runway 21 is our scheduled runway approach today. Runway 21. If AT give us anything different over in Baden, so just confirm Echo Delta Bravo Sierra, they have information for that. Runway 21, yes, so runway 21 is the active runway, and therefore we'll be making our way towards that. What's going to gear off doing in the 737? So basically, in the 737, the landing gear system is pressurised in the up position, down position, but in the off position, it kills the pressurisation. So essentially, the landing gear needs pressure to work, but said pressure shouldn't be in the aircraft above, say, 10,000 feet or so, because that adds strain to the system. So what you do is when you raise the landing gear, you let the pressure raise the gear up. But as soon as the landing gear is now no longer required, so the gear is up or the lights are off, what you can do is just drop the pressure and the landing gear just get locked in place. So it's just a backup system based on the requirements of a 1960s aircraft to keep pressure in the airplane when it's required. 737, certainly not quite where it used to be back in the day. Well, it is where it used to be back in the day because it's not really updated at all since the 1960s. The Max, at this point, being the last generation 73, there'll be no more 73s after this. It'll be the new middle market plane, whatever that will be, in whatever time it comes out. Yes, I've got plans for a Toast plane stream at some point soon, Hasu. Essentially next weekend, try to fly the Toast 19 again. On me. Runway 21, you can fly to your house. Seeing every route running in there. Very good. Well, give us a shout, we fly over, dude. Yes, so Potato, the LevelUp does handle different to the Zybo. I have noted there's a lot more. The aircraft certainly pitches up, has a pitch up attitude more than that of the Zybo in the past. So you can see where the blade end theory is. I've noted that kind of here, the airflow's being bent downwards, which in reality shouldn't be doing that. So I've got a feeling that in the flight model, something here is invisible, but affecting the aircraft's performance, which pitches the aircraft up slightly more than it should do. Around looks fine. See, airflow hits the wing, bends down, hits the wing, bends down. North above the wing, hits the wing, bends down, but it shouldn't be continuing it this far up the aeroplane. So, yes, they have got custom flight model dynamics. You can certainly feel it, especially when flying at low altitude and slow speed. I'm looking at getting the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke system. I've seen mixed reviews about the throttle it comes with, but the 787 style yoke does it pretty good. So that is on my list of purchases at some point in the next couple of months, if all goes to plan. Doing things on the 747, good luck Transport Gamer, long flight that, 20 odd hours. Good luck. If you're on Discord's HyperX, airport request. Drop an airport request for Romania. Is it more difficult to fly than Zybo? I wouldn't say it's so much more difficult. I mean, in regards to how it handles compared to like a real life 737, which is quite slippery and cross. You move the yoke, the aircraft moves around really, really smooth. That is pretty much spot on. As for the pitch up attitude, I think that's a little bit
exaggerated compared to the real thing. I don't think it's quite as much as potentially LevelUp saying it could be. Like I said, it's still version 1, so a lot of work to be done in the future in regards to the flight model, kind of how the aircraft will feel. But there are some parts which I feel are a little more exaggerated than they would be in real life. But it's not so it's bad aircraft by any means. I do really enjoy flying the LevelUp 738. So there's a lot of goods that it does bring to the hosting scene as well. So party out Stansted, now the UK, slowly making my way over towards the south of Germany. Also, love the odd party mode in in Volanta. Hi, I'm from the UK. What am I all excited about? The Phoenix, the PMDG, or the A220? It has to be PMDG, Marco. I mean, we've got an A220 through the form of Flyboy, so our Phoenix needs are kind of covered for that in the meantime. The A220 is looking good. That's looking really good from Synaptic. But 737 is definitely an aircraft we don't have in flight sim yet, if you ignore the Bradock rubbish. Very excited for that one, so I'd say PMDG definitely most excited in the upcoming release. How thought my first flight with the 380 will be. So it'll either be Heathrow to Johannesburg or Dubai to either Heathrow or Heathrow, Manchester, Los Angeles. So London to Johannesburg, which is the British Airways longest flight with it, or Dubai to either Heathrow, Manchester, or Los Angeles, depending on kind of where I fly to that day. But one of those. Is this a normal Ryanair flight where you want to go to Frankfurt? In 40 kilometres away in Frankfurt, it's £10 cheaper. I believe Ryanair operate in Frankfurt anyway. Let me have a quick look at their websites. I'm fairly sure Ryanair operates Frankfurt regardless. If I were to search from Stansted to there you go, Frankfurt all airports. So Hahn and International all covered by Ryanair. If we say fly March 12th to 13th, make it a weekend trip, because why not? There you go, £9.99, Frankfurt International. Return flight, there you go. You can fly Ryanair for 20 quid return. Oh, actually, or even more to air, so I believe that's just an A320. Would that be A320? I think it might be, actually. Yeah, because more to air. No, sorry, that's Ryanair Europe. This will be 737 flight. So I'm thinking of Lauda Europe or Ryanair Europe, whatever they call it. But no, more territory. That is the other 737 division for cheaper European flights. Yeah, Baden-Baden is its own separate. Such. Same day, how much cheaper would it be? 10 quid, yeah. We're looking at the exact same price between Frankfurt and Baden. Yeah, I adore Ryanair. So, I mean, the prices are cheap, their destinations are everywhere. If I were to go for the, there you go, flights from whatever, London Stansted, I could fly to Gdańsk in Poland for $4.99 as a price, like, wow. Katowice $4.99, Austrian $4.99, Venice $4.99, Vienna, Warsaw, Wrocław, Milan. Sorry, Wrocław $4.99. Then we get to the 624, Milan, 674, Milan, Aalborg 8, Bologna 8. Just look at these prices. You could fly anywhere in Europe for the old less than a tenner. Anywhere you want. With my, there goes Yeshov, $12.99. That's someone I need to visit at some point soon. Is Tampere on here as well? I don't think it'll be a special offer like that. Tampere is based in Finland. I need to go to some point soon as well. But yeah, lots of cheap prices. I do like my Ryanair. Sorry, but they are fantastic. Yes, Grand Theft Auto 6 has been announced. At least they've announced that it's very much working on the latest edition, so that's something for the gaming side of me to enjoy. So I'm not going to stream GTA, play it kind of on the channel, such like that. I'll probably pick it up at some point, not kind of resave, but wait a few weeks. Yeah, I've played GTA 5, I've played GTA 4, decent games, I can't fuss. You think your train's going to get his ear chewed out for not showing up? Ben's off to training on Tuesday instead. Nothing for your group on yet though. Oof, sounds like it's going to be quite interesting out in the old the OXC division. Yeah, fair play. I say, do give us a shout if you do go on Tuesday, and we'll try and schedule flights to meet you there. I'm not on the Phoenix 320 to Henry. Aircraft I do not have access to at this point, I'm afraid. Do I have a lock the cockpit door? The answer is yes, I did actually. I'm not that stupid. Yeah, so no, you are right. It will either be a 737-800 or 10-3 Max for the old Mortaret. Ah, your London radar, Leo. Okay, good to hear, dude. I presume we've got you for the approach into Baden-Baden tonight. Take a quick DM, I don't mind. Yeah, no worries, dude. I'll get back to you shortly. Ooh, good point. We're not climbing. Why not? Look, 320 sets. We should be climbing to at least 167 at this point. Good spot. Good spot. I completely ignored our altitude there. No idea what the aircraft chose to hold at 14,000. That's much better. What a coincidence of this, just watch your Ryanair flights. Welcome, Kieran, how you doing? Yeah, good spot, aviation zone. Completely ignored that. Much better. I'm going to fly over, what, Amsterdam at 16,000? Nah, we'll miss the majority of the busy airfields as we go overhead. We've got 80 on the right hand side shortly. Pass across the CRJ. Passing at an altitude of 20,000, so in fact they've already been us to 20,000 on this short departure path here. Yeah, we need to get a move on with the old climbing out. I don't know, well, there's the Peter Hager 380 for the X-Plane aviation zone. It's not recommended. Who's developing? I'm certain there is an A380 coming for X-Plane. I can't remember who's developing it. I know there's two coming from Microsoft Flight Sim, one by Drawyah, one by... is it Indie building the other A380? I believe it is. So there's two on the way to Microsoft Flight Sim. X-Plane, I believe there is. I can't remember who's doing it. You'll take XP11, but you have an i5 9400. That should run your XP11 without any problems, Kieran, that spec. Mine's a 1660 and an i7 600. So actually, your processor is better than my old processor. Your GPU, not slightly worse, but not terribly worse. That spec should run XP11 without too many problems there, Kieran. We should go for it. P-Taker. It's neither a scam or a goodbye, I'd say, in transport games. So Peter Hager's A380 was the big product back in X-Plane 9. So back in X-Plane 9 days, that was like the best A380 to go for, nothing compared. It's just not quite lived up to modern day standards. So I won't call it a scam, because back in the day it was really good. It's just not quite modern spec. Yes, any builds A380 will be payware, Marco. Any builds are a payware developer. Flyby will be free, but any will need to pay for. Which one is it? Flyby view. Is it 2? Yes. Haven't gained on 3080 by wasting a really long time, Henry. So I bought 3080 on release day, or pre-ordered it. And I just had to wait in a queue for 9 months until it eventually just appeared on the doorstep. So yes, a lot of waiting, but we got there in the end. yeah, so it has been ported to each version of X-Plane Transport Gamer. Certainly, I say not quite living to modern day standards. Try to spot Schiphol. Let's have a quick look. Schiphol will be on our left-hand side. I think it's just a little bit too far from our view. So there's Schiphol. There's us. Kind of look down the coastline. Yeah, no, I think it's just a bit too far away from our Schiphol, I'm afraid. Nothing from the passenger side, from the cockpits. Just, yeah, haze. No, unfortunately, definitely be able to Schiphol on this occasion. Ooh, clouds. So, question about the worst flights in real life or in sim aviation zone. In real life or in sim. In real life, my worst flights. To be fair, I've never really had a worst flight. Oof, I've really picked up now. I've certainly had. So I had a question at the start of the stream. Was the scariest flight I've ever been on, and that will probably be the flight I did from. What would it be? Probably my flight from Athens to Limnos in the ATR 42. I mean, full credit to Olympic Air, they're a fantastic airline, they do a really good job out in Greece, Olympic Airlines. But the first flight I had, and the return flight from Limnos back to Athens was fantastic, no complaints. But the outbound flight was full of turbulence, full of winds, full of turbulence, and honestly, the ATR 42 were kind of just rocking left and right the entire flight. It was certainly quite a bumpy approach. Also, landing at London Stansted Airport with Alitalia back in the day. So Alitalia Embraer 190 flew from Milan to London City, and that was during one of the storms in the UK. So the approach we had, full of winds, full of turbulence, the aircraft was shaking again left and right on the approach. I was sure it was going to be a go-around because we were just all over the place on the short final, but the pilots managed to do the landing, and fair play to them, quite a bit of skill on that. But yeah, I've had a few moments in the air where I felt a little bit uneasy about where things were going, but for the most part, it's been alright. Worst payware buy and review. Probably the Captain Sim 777. I mean, back in the days of FS2004, I did have the Abacus A380, which again, not a great product, the Abacus 380, which is also my very first ever payware aircraft. Not a good one to start on. But the Captain Sim 777, I'm afraid, is not a good aircraft for flight sim. It's just really, really bad. X-Plane paywares, I've been quite happy with what I got so far. Nothing I've regretted, but Captain Sim 777, by far my biggest regret in flight sim purchase. Nope, no freezing here, Navigator. Sim's running pretty smooth for me. Right now running at about, well, easy running at a solid 30 FPS, which I've limited it to for the sake of streaming. Also, running at 4K. Had a question. I was going to give a bit of an answer onto that as well. Skip our worst flight, worst payware. What was I going to say? There's one more thing I was going to talk about as well in this, but I can't remember what I was going to say now. If I can remember, I'll try and remember it. Let's go through our passengers while we're here, because we haven't gone through our passengers yet. So let's see who's on board the flight, who's on board our cabin. So yeah, the sun's just going below the horizon now. Right, here for our cabins. So, any names you recognise, any people on board, this is the chance to have a look and see if there's anybody we know. So far the answer is no one. Lots of German and British names of all the aircraft today. Kai Schneider, very nice. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone on all the aircraft today who I'm going to recognise. No, nobody on board today, just a standard cabin for normal people. Also the Ryanair cabin as well, that's set up together for the sake of this flight.
anyone spots anyone on chat, give us a shout and we'll be able to look at their stats for you, no problem. So far so good. Right, cruising altitude 230. Again, quite a low cruise for our flight today. The PMD, yeah, TOLIS, not PMD. TOLIS A340 is a very good flight, I'll explain, aviation zone. Definitely worth a look for your long hauling, definitely worth a look. If you're on the A321 already, same developer as that, TOLIS, so you're going to be familiar with them. Their systems are usually pretty good in their aircraft, so can't fault that really. The Boeing 1037 is one of the worst, if not the worst pair aircraft that comes to flight sim. I mean, is that before or after the black screen's cockpit glitch, direct pilots? You know, the one where you fly for an hour and all of a sudden all your gauges go black. Just they all switch off, all die at the same time, and there is no way to turn it back on again. That's the biggest pain in the Braddock 3D Max. I'd said on day one when it came out, in fact I warned people on the YouTube kind of discussion-y community bits, do not buy this aeroplane, you're going to be disappointed. It saved a lot of people from buying it, but sadly you can't stop everyone. But yeah, definitely not one to recommend. Not one to recommend. Compared to each other, what's better, the Flyby 2NX or the Zybus N3? Probably Zybus N3, Henry, because this aircraft is working VNAV. Flyby does not yet have that. Flyby, the first of the 320, don't say that. Don't say anything else. Flyby 2NX is fantastic, but there's still a few systems on board that are still being worked on and therefore need to kind of be implemented if we can really say it's perfect. So VNAV, I say, is still a big thing that Flyby needs to do on that aeroplane. But we'll see how times go. So the A330-900 with black screens. I've never had that, Marco, personally. I mean, I flew the A330 on Wednesday when the release of the Australia update. No screen issues with that. Also through the A330 back in back on that New Year's flight as well. So from Sydney to Honolulu, that was about 11 hours of flying. And again, no black screen issues. The aircraft handled it perfectly. So not an issue I've personally had on the A330. I've heard of it, of course. I've had other people report it, but for me, I've managed to get away from the worst of that. Right, so our approach now, since I know what we're going to do. So I'm looking at runway 21 on the Ladat 1 Lima arrival. ILS 21, Ladat 1 Lima. Transition. I don't think we need to transition for this occasion. Insert that, take it from there. So we go to plan mode. Confirm that looks okay, which to be fair, in the explain sim, I've got no reason to doubt that. He says. Right, let's have a look what's going on here. So Ladat to Akbut, that's fine. Kilo Bravo Alpha, I've no idea what that is. Ah, and it was going to go back on itself, yes. So go to that Kilo Bravo Alpha point. There's a reason I said no transitions. So heights, Ladat. That's alright. If I go to that Abcut point as well, that should even smooth out the approach onto 121 anyway, so that just makes that a bit easier too. So Ladat, Charlie India 121, Bitsu, approach runway 21, perfect. So that's our approach sets. Traffic on the left hand side, about 8,000 feet below us, descending. DME Ultimate Beast, that's the miles to your weather frequency set. So we're right now 22 miles away from wherever India Golf Charlie is. To our 13, well, that's just heading for that. So yeah, DME is just your distance from whatever frequency you've set. So I see you chat, Kieran. Sorry, I'm just focusing on set up the aeroplane. If you're requesting flights, Kieran, I've become a channel member or on Twitch subscriber, or stick a thread in the airport request form in Discord. Yeah, the copy-paste 3 model of the Santa Max. Yes, generic pilots. You've flown 20 long hauls of the A330 with idle device, and then I've always wanted to fly. At some point it has to, but They still operate, they just operate more kind of, well, they operate your 320s and A330s these days. I'd like to fly to the A340, not many of those around remaining, but I believe the Lufthansa still have a very few number remaining in their fleets. Slowly disappearing, of course. Yeah, there are a couple of times where you've had many engine turbulence. You've had many engine failures of shot and you leave the APU the whole flight and increased level of stress. Gosh, that is an experience. Do I see any from Baden-Baden? I don't. Australian Rail, I do not. Just in default to Baden-Baden scenery today. Do I play P3D? I've got P3D. I don't use it anymore, Henry. P3D is retired on this channel. As is FSX. I use FSX kind of one more stint to fly in the Dornier 228 from Southampton, sorry, between Alderney and Southampton and Guernsey, but that's now also finished, so no more FSX channel. Mainly because when I flew FSX, the actual comments were quite negative about it. They weren't quite happy with the quality, so focusing on X-Plane and Flight Sim 20 at the moment. Microsoft Flight Sim, sorry, P3D and FSX are both retired. Right, where... What I was going to do something else as well. Performance. So flaps 30 for approach, 149 knots approach speed. Check our frequency, so 108.75. 108.75. 108.75. And then the course is 210. 210 and 210. Welcome Ari, how are you doing? Welcome to the chats, how are you today? How can I create an Orca size FSX, especially a child? Same here, Marco. For me on my Steam accounts, I think FSX is about 1,700 hours, something like that. Yeah, 1,406 hours. Last played September 15, 21, so let's say it's now retired. FSX, you've done me well since 2000 and... I think 2008 I first played it. I first had it on disc, then I got it on Steam. But between 2008 and 2021, it has served me very, very well. So thank you, FSX. May you enjoy your rest. How long's left? About half an hour or so. Wisdom, about half an hour to landing. Not long to go now. Not long to go. The top of the set's coming up now. That'll be very shortly ahead of us. We'll get the London radar approach frequency on standby, 125.05. And as soon as we're in airspace, we'll tune frequency, say hello, and get ourselves on the approach runway 21. So I have both disc and Steam edition, Marco. I have both disc and Steam edition. So DME, I was going to say DME as well, wasn't I? The DME for Baden-Baden. Okay, if I use it off of Carl Gross then, maybe that's not great. Okay. May end up doing the ADF then if that's the case. 431 Kilo Bravo Alpha. Let's have a quick look. Is that something we can set? This is gonna be something. This is gonna be new to me now. So I can see they got this frequency here. The IF Carl Roos Baden-Baden 431 Kilo Bravo Alpha. Would that be an ADF or an ANT? I'm try both of them out. See what the difference is. I must admit I don't actually know the difference between ADF and ANT. What they refer to. That's 431. I need to tune to. Switch that. And switch that over to ADF. So that's not a system I'm familiar with personally.
Hopefully it's the right one. Now, your first flight sim was ZX Spectrum Knife. Ooh, that's a classic. My first flight sim was I'm sure it was an old Microsoft combat flight sim. The first sim I properly remember was FSX, but I'm sure I had a combat flight sim before then. Hashtag an airport, Kieran. If you go to the top of the Discord thread, bring it up on the channel. So if you go to the airport request thread, at the very top there's a link. Fill the form out, and it adds it to the list of airports. And on my end, I've got a master thread, and basically it's just every single airport everyone's requested. And whatever the most popular option is, I'll then select it, fly the routes, delete it from the list, and kind of go down the list from top to bottom. So that's kind of how I base it on for flights. I have an interest in flight sims as long as I can remember, Oliver. I've always liked flight sims, always liked them. When I was young, going on holiday to Poland, flying Ryanair twice a year, or back then EasyJet twice a year to Warsaw, and yeah, I've always liked my aviation, something I've always just been a fan of. Career-wise, I'm in the railways, I work on trains, because I've always liked transport, full stop. I like my planes, trains, buses, that kind of stuff, planes, trains, automobiles. Yeah, I've always enjoyed my transports, just as a whole. This is sunset, KLM. This is sunset. Sun is getting darker as the flight progresses. Pull up. We're cruising at 2230 today, and we're nearly at top percent anyway, so no need to pull up any further. As for our descent, we need to intercept the glide slope at an altitude of. So, we'll pin that for the sake of keeping it available. Runway 219 localizer. So intercept glide slope at an altitude of 4,000 feet. It from there, it's fine. Why flying Ryanair? Why not? Perpenga. I mean, they're my favourite airline in real life, so why not? Very good for European flights because they fly from everywhere to everywhere, so good amount of variety on that. Good varied lengths as well, so you can fly some long flights, fly some short flights. Just yeah, good variety of Ryanair. Good variety, and they fly basically everywhere you want to go to. Okay then, have a night, dude. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There you go. Excellent dispatch. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sam. I enjoyed the videos. So we're now approaching our top percent very shortly. Won't be too long until we start heading back towards the ground. So far so good, Aviator. So far so good, flights. When PNG releases 737, will there be a short period where you fly? Oh yeah, absolutely, Marco. As soon as PNG releases 737, I think the next like 6 months afterwards, it will be non-stop 737, 737, 737, 737. We'll have one Phoenix stream in there because the Phoenix releases, then it's more 737, 737, A380 releases, and there's just 100 more 737 flights. Because yes, I do like my 737s, and getting it in flight sim would be like a dream come true, I guess. So yes, that's the next big thing I'm looking out for. Release wise. Ah, right, it's contacts 125050. So we got it on standby. London radar. Here we come. Ooh, 05, sorry. We've got contacts early. Oh, I think we have. We've got Stuttgart online. No, London radar, which is to be fair, Stuttgart. I just put the frequency in wrong. Good evening, London Radar. This is Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey at flight level 230 inbound Pites.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, hello Drawyah, identified when ready descent to reach flight level 60 at London.
When ready, descends to level 60 at Ladat for Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Thank you very much. Alright, so we need to send down to 6,000 by the Ladat waypoint. So switching altitude to 6,000. And how long do we have? We've got about 40 odd miles to send down to 6,000. Not impossible for us. No approximate date for the race yet, 320 clips. As soon as you get one, you'd hear about it all over social media. Until then, unfortunately, the answer is no, nothing yet.
And Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, that's some extra information to the current.
Does Ryanair make hard landings? Nothing that I've ever really felt. Papenga. Honestly, everyone makes the joke about Ryanair making hard landings, but in reality, not something I've personally really suffered from. Right, so let's have descent now. Let's us carry on. Good evening, gentlemen. A quick update from the flight deck. We are just starting our descent into Baden-Baden right now. I should be landing in approximately 15-20 minutes. So far, the weather looking pretty good on arrival. A few thunderstorms that have now passed through, giving us some clearer skies to land at. We'll give you also an update on the ground when we get there, but for now, it's our descent, and should be landing in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you. When I'm flying a narrow-body transatlantic flight, not particularly generic. If I flew an A321 across the pond, I probably wouldn't mind it too much. Madden 757s did it quite often, so I don't know why it's all of a sudden become such a big thing, narrow-bodies across the pond, back when it used to be the big thing back in the day, 75s. Right, so look at the progress page. So looking at 38. So yeah, landing in about 18 minutes. So we've got slightly behind schedule because of the delayed taxi thanks to the Mayday, but should be alright. Favourite livery Ryanair, livery aircraft combos Ryanair? Mine's Nokia, Jonathan. Nokia, they're an airline based out, I believe it's in Indonesia. It's India or Thailand, I can never remember which one of the two it is, but it's either Indonesia or Thailand. And essentially, all their aeroplanes are based on birds. There you go. This is Nokia. So all their 737s, they have 737s and ATRs, and for every single aeroplane, they have a different style of bird on all of them. And I think this is a fantastic livery, an aircraft I'll definitely fly quite soon after Microsoft Flight Sim release, because I mean, just look at that. Beautiful, beautiful liveries. Nokia, definitely my favourite livery. Definitely my favourite livery. I must say, I've not actually seen this green one before. Stashing that. I also know they've got a blue one somewhere as well. Alright, seatbelt signs back on, please. Passengers, back to your seats. Welcome, Penga. I saw your comments the first few times, yes. What is it about Ryanair? Cheap prices, Henry. Very, very cheap prices. I mean, like I showed on the stream earlier on, you can fly basically anywhere in Europe for about €10, if that. We need to accelerate slightly because we need to be at 6,000 by the next waypoint in 20 miles. So I'm going to use the spoilers just to assist with that slightly. Cheesy, I know, but does the job. There's no 22 tutorial for Megapack 320 clips because it's dead. Megapack have disbanded, the project is no more, so I'm afraid the answer I'm going to have to give you is it's impossible. After that, that's heading 130 for Ryanair, 93 Bravo Whiskey. So after that, that's using manual vectors for the approach, heading 130. Made Dublin time, so this is a very quick flight that future. Then again, you also missed the Mayday at starts, but fair play dude, how's he landing? Yes, if you had baggage then prices do go up, Henry, but just don't add baggage to your flights. I mean, fair enough, depends how light you're travelling. For me, I don't really need more than a backpack for most of my trips. If you don't buy a seat, you don't buy baggage, you don't buy any extras, the flight ticket on its own is cheap anyway, so no point really fussing about it. Yep, you kind of saw it because it's dead. The team disbanded, the servers are offline, there is no more Megapack for anything. Apart from the 321, which does still just about work on a limp with its cockpits conversion tool. So after that, we'll make a heading of 130, so I might as well get that prepared. Don't use VATSIM as 101, so I'm afraid the answer would be no to that. I'm looking at doing IVAO controlling at some point, one day, but sadly nothing for the VATSIM at the moment, I'm afraid. 1,000 feet, and lights set. So reduce speeds to 250 knots.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, descent 4,000 feet, Karlsruhe, Baden, QNH 1015.
Descends to level altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1015 Baden, Ryanair 93 Whiskey Bravo. Bravo Whiskey. God, I'm talking like nonsense now. Right, down to 4,000 feet. And QNH 1015, so same as our departure. Easy said than done, Marco. Easy said than done, because the model's encrypted and you can't really use it without the proper licensing, so I'm afraid not as easy as you think. Yeah, Leo, good so far. So thank you for the vectors, gives me a little more to do. Not whiskies, Jonathan, just tired, very, very tired. I've got to wake up at 4 in the morning tomorrow, so it's just another long day ahead of me. So I absolutely adore my job. I think working the railway is fantastic. Just be prepared for the long hours that it can give you sometimes. Right, heading 130, manual heading select sets. We're about 800 feet higher than we need to be right now. I can certainly live with that. Oh yes, Luca, yep, flying overhead your home. You'll spot us on the old night approach to that. Again, the airport itself is pretty much on the border of France and Germany. So this jagged edge on the
west of the airspace. That there follows the French-German border. See Strasbourg also not too far away. Nor is Stuttgart or Frankfurt just to the north. This is the LevelUp mod, Harry. This is the LevelUp 737. Now leveling off at 4,000 feet.
2,500.
Reduce speeds to 220 knots. And very soon starting about our flap setup. Perhaps 2 degrees.
Tutor 385, descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1014 via Delta Sierra 512, clear ILS approach runway 25, maintain 5,000 feet until glide path.
Standard scenery, I am using, let me grab you a link for it. So the Stansted I'm using is the Boundless Simulation Stansted. It's payware products available in the IndieBuild store. That's the one I'm using. Oh yeah, in terms of its simulating capacity, Umja, is that how you pronounce it? Sorry? Umjagu? Do apologise. Yeah, in terms of simulating capability, X-Plane is definitely a superior platform, both in its dynamics and its cockpit setup and systems. Microsoft Flight Sim certainly beats it on the visuals, but again, X-Plane doesn't look all that bad, especially its night lighting. Does look rather good. There's no doubt about it. X-Plane does a lot of Microsoft Flight Sim where it's at level-wise. Speed down to 180 knots. And very shortly, hopefully, we'll get ourselves a clearance onto the localizer runway 21. We're about 10 miles away from intercepting at this point. Wait to hear back from the controller. Flaps 10. We'll leave that as our flaps until we load landing gear. Here we go, so it has worked, I think. ADF1, Kilo Bravo Alpha, so that has found it on the old ADF.
Ryanair 3 Bravo Whiskey, turn right, heading 180, clear ILS approach runway 21.
Turn right heading 180, clear ILS approach runway 21, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. There we go, that's the that I was waiting for. So 180 heading, as soon as we get ourselves to the localizer, get ourselves onto that, follow the glide slope down. Landing very shortly.
To the 385, contact ship the tower 11 destination 05, schönen Abend noch, ciao.
Tower 11805 to the 385, danke, tschüss.
So benefits of X-Plane as well, screenshots of Volanta, a lot easier to do. Now we're having to crop everything I get, it's just screenshot and upload. So again on Volanta, got a few screenshots of the flight popping up. Some of these pretty well liked. This one's probably my favourite so far, the sun in the background. So that one's pretty good as well, kind of low horizon sun. Nope, visibility slowly improving, was appreciated. The diamonds, so coming to the play already, as is the localizer. Go on then, the other localizer sets. Runways in sights. Approach mode sets. Dual channel. Autopilots. Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, establish ILS runway 21.
Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey, wind contour 25 degrees, land on runway 21, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 21, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Right, reduce speeds to minimum approach, that'll be 149 knots. Landing gear down. Now flaps to 30 degrees, landing flap. To brake set to
Gear down,
level
3
2.
greens.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing. Let the aircraft stabilise itself on the old glide slope. May watch the speed at this point, since the aircraft slowly kind of dipping its position at the moment on the glide slope, so I'll let it balance itself out.
$2,500.
Seems alright. We're getting there at least. So manual throttle now about there. Okay, the aircraft's not really super stably approaching, I must admit. Make those small adjustments manually on the throttle. Yes, playing for other people, Kieran. That's the IVAO network. Playing with real people. The controller's voice you hear is a real person acting as ATC. So I'll misapproach altitude to 5,400. Definitely my Boeings, I looked. Definitely my Boeings. Now on the outer marker. This is LevelUp Victor. (1,000 feet). Also disengage. I'm in control. .19 odd knot headwind at the moment, so not too bad for the winds. There's steady adjustments going. Throttle. Reverse thrust sets. PACX 150. 100 knots.
80 knots.
80 knots reverse cuts. We'll wait to the next exit point to the left. I've noted no GPWS callouts on that. I need to go back to my settings and check that later. Definitely no GPWS callouts on that.
Runway 93 Bravo Whiskey, gate next left, taxi the gate 27 via Delta Golf, Mike and Sierra.
27 via Mike Delta Whiskey Sierra for Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey.
Yeah, 93 Bravo Whiskey almost, it's Delta Golf, Mike and Sierra.
So Golf Mike Sierra. 27 via Delta Golf Mike Sierra, Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey. Took a second to catch that. Caps up. Spoilers down. Exit runway to the left. Let's get taxi over to the terminal. Turn off our landing lights. What's that properly? Sure, hang on. I did that, right? Yeah, sure I did. Boom, 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 boom. Fair enough. Well, that's all off now. APU will start. Turn off the pressurization. Continue taxi over to the stands. Oh, pressure fantastic, Leo. Absolutely fantastic there. One of one, £5 through Super Chat, thank you very much. Towards the TCA Boeing Oak. Cheers, dude. No problem, dude. Thank you very, very much. You're a superstar. Like I say, the Boeing Oak definitely on my list of purchases. Hopefully the next big thing we'll get up on this channel. Now, before I go any further, the taxi charts. Mike is... he did mine, didn't he? So make a quick left. Ignore me, sorry. That was November. So that's November there. Mike's next taxiway. Just run to the chart set. So off Delta, down Golf, right onto Mike, left onto Sierra, stands 2-5, which is on the apron in front of the stands. Just whilst AGC at 18.1. So I've never really understood ADFs, I must admit. Whilst AGC 81, very good, dude. I'll say it means it's good to have controllers going on live as well. It's getting busier and busier, the network. Fair enough, like I said in chat, we had people who say that, ooh, that seems better at controlling, but IVAO's picking up as well. I mean, they're both grand networks, IVAO, that sim. Very good networks. There's a reason why they're two kind of stand out leaders in the flight community. They're both good for a reason. And IVAO, it's something used in the last year to pick itself up. And I don't take anything away from IVAO. It's a very good from VATSIM. It's a very good network, very professional ATC, good user base. IVAO starting on its growth at the moment. No, always appreciate the ATC, Leo. Thank you very much there in the chat today. Did the flaps not go up properly? Hopefully that should speed things up a little bit. Once brakes off. What's that? We've got a hangar of sorts, very close to the main taxiway. Alright, stand 27, let's figure out which one it is. There's a problem I've got, is our chart here doesn't show us stand numbers. Does Volanta do it? Hopefully it does. Oh yeah, Volanta does. There you go, Volanta to rescue. Stand 27, it's the very first stand on our right hand side, perfect. So it's the stand right here. Position bike brake sets. Switch over to AP generators. AP bleed sets. Engines off. And seatbelt sign comes off. There we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baden-Baden. Local time right now is approximately 11:15. Temperature outside right now at 8 degrees centigrade. Clear skies with potential of rainstorms forming up over the night. We thank you for flying Ryanair. We hope you enjoyed your flight with us today. And we thank you for flying with us. Wish you a safe on your journey. Hope to see you again in the very near future. Cabin crew on doors and cross check, please. Thank you for flying with us today. That was a pathetic end of flight message there. I'm sure passengers get the idea. I'm sure they get the idea. Hopefully the there we go, probably just in the cabin. Ground crew. Oh yeah, sorry, tax lights as well. That comes off. Yeah, I forgot something. There we go. There you have it. Not a bad flight overall. 150 landing rate, which is pretty much the perfect to its rates. As for the Gs, 1.15 G set. Yeah, so spot on landing that. Can't fault it. Wind 200, 14 knots. That was pretty much as good of a landing as you're going to get in this flight. So what I'll do is I'll quickly end the flight on Volanta. Ryanair 93 Bravo Whiskey at stand at Baden-Baden. Thank you very much for service today. We'll be switching over to Unicom shortly. Thank you very much and good night. Have a good descent.
Thank you for flying. It was a pleasure. Good night. Bye-bye.
There we go. Right, after the intercom, we'll just from the IVAO very shortly. If there's a 2-minute rule, they recommend saying when you get to stand, wait 2 minutes and then disconnect, just for the sake of getting traffic to match up quite nicely. Finish with the flight, finish with Volanta, that can now go. What lights are still active? Are there still landing lights active? No, they're not. They're all off. No, turn off. Turn off lights. Also still active, apparently. I'm not very good at my 77 lighting setup, if you've not guessed yet. Also, cabin. That's also going to be disembarking as well. So, cabin, for the most part, emptying out now. That shouldn't take too long for it to go empty. End of flight after reports FR 9772, 738 from Stansted to Baden-Baden. Flight time 1 hour 3 minutes, which is what we got on the clock, which is 1:03 and 30 seconds. Planned departure was 29, departed at 34. Planned arrival was 34, we arrived at 39. 184 passengers, 90 satisfaction, landing rate 147, and block time 1 hour and 21 minutes. Soft landing, otherwise pretty much a spot on flight. If you wish flight reports in chats, feel free to do so via the link and we'll drop there very shortly. No, Leo, thank you very much for joining in, dude. Hope you have a good one. Now, off the IVAO, and all that's left for us to do, apart from closing the doors, of course, is then load up ourselves some replays. Close the cargo door, close the rear entry. As soon as the stairs tracks, close the main front door, and then switch over to the replay mode. Cool. This goes on the short final. Start off with the left-hand passenger view. And so at some point after the stream, I'll look into my aircraft setup, figure out what's my GPWS callouts and audio, which is going to change at the start there. So a few things actually went missing at the very beginning, but hey ho. XP11 is very good Minos. The LevelUp 737 or Zyber 737, both fantastic freeware add-ons, which definitely worth the look. Definitely worth the look. And apart from TFDi, you won't get much better than this, I don't think. There you go. Super soft touchdown. Absolutely nothing wrong with that flight at all. Go through landing from the right hand side now. So on the right hand side, looking at the, well, we're looking where the river is, and then the border with Germany and France. A bit of time scroll on that side as well. It's dark at nights. Change the timing, hopefully. I should know. Change the timing on the normal sim. I think it's because the yeah, the replay is set to fixed times. I'm afraid you can't set the change the replay time. Normally it's K and L in X-Plane. You can change the time in the sim, but sadly in replay, because it's all based on the live, you do miss out on actually changing that afterwards. Let's go to the external views now, and let's see what's the outside plane looks like for the approaches. So yeah, some of the external views not quite as handy as Microsoft Flight Sim's actually its tail cam. I'll actually give you a job on to see how to land. That's the whole Ryanair, the hard landing joke. Never really got into that personally. Landing about as average as any 737 landing on any airline ever.
good old landing that. Again, very little I can say particularly wrong with it. Let's go through the landing gear view. Oh, yes, again, admittedly, you're alright. It is a little bit on the dark side. Can't really see much in the way of landing gear. You can just enjoy the red strobe flashes of the, the landing gear, I guess. Airport request, Rodrigo. Click on the very top, there's a form to fill in. Fill in the form. Not much I can compare about that landing. It's pretty much spot on. The one more landing replay from the front of the kind of runway view. Next stream plan should be tomorrow. We lost back in Microsoft Flight Simulator tomorrow. And then in luck we're doing another Flight Sim stream. So Flight Sim Wednesdays, Saturdays and Sundays. Train Sim Thursdays. And on Friday, if I've got any extras, then I'll do an extra stream on a Friday. Yeah, I mean that was a pretty much spot on landing there. Aircraft did its job, landed nice and firm, 150 feet per minute touchdown. I can't fault it. So yeah, that I guess brings us to the end of our flights today. So that was a flight from London Stansted to Baden-Baden. That was the LevelUp 77800 in Ryanair colours. IVAO, AT communication pretty good again as always. Coverage both on the departure and arrival. PACX, of course, passengers. All mods and descriptions as ever. And that is the end of that. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do like if you did. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Also thank you very much to one of one as well for the donation there. Much appreciated. And yeah, that brings us to the end of our flights today. Pilot, as always, great stream, good night. Thank you, dude. And as of you guys too, thanks for taking part. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon for some more Flight Sim action. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. And yes, good night as well, Draven. Good night.